The C-5 Galaxy is a badass plane for a reason. The C-5 is capable of loading main battle tanks, helicopters and transporting them all the way to Antarctica, and that's just the start of its capabilities. The largest military transport plane in the United States inventory is also one of the largest planes in the world, and its 5 decades of service is worthy of recognition. The Galaxy is an important part of the global logistics system because it can take 50-ton main battle tanks and move them to another continent. The C-5 represented the United States Air Force's size, power, grandeur, and majesty according to Air Force historian John Leland. It still does today. It has kept the U.S. military and its allies, as well as far-flung scientists, well stocked in the most remote parts of the Earth for more than 50 years. The sheer size of the C-5 makes it difficult to comprehend. The C-5M, the most recent iteration, is 247 feet long. Its wingspan is 222.8 feet, and each wing is the length of a basketball court. The plane is 65 feet high, which is the equivalent of a 6.5-story structure. The Galaxy is so big that it won't fit in many hangars. When the C-5 mostly fits inside, the Air Force cuts a hole in the sliding doors so its whale-shaped tail can come out. The C-5 was designed to carry more cargo than any previous aircraft. More than 250,000 pounds of weight may be lifted by the C-5 massive M's cargo compartment, which can hold 1 tank, 6 helicopters, or 24,844,746 ping-pong balls. The massive plane has a range of 5,524 miles, and can carry 120,000 pounds of cargo without refueling. The C-5's range is nearly unlimited because of mid-air refueling. The Air Force wanted a transport that could carry all the equipment needed for a U.S. Army division halfway across the world. The C-5 Galaxy was born out of this need. C-130 Hercules and C-141 Starlifter were both big at the time, but they couldn't handle the most important thing, the new M60 main battle tank. The M60 weighed 50 tons and measured 30 feet long by 10 feet high. In order to meet the Air Force's aim of transporting 100,000 pounds over a distance of 4,500 nautical miles at 440 miles per hour, the CXLHS Super Heavy Transport plane had to be developed. It would take a plane that was not only the largest in U.S. military service, but also the largest in the world to accomplish this feat. During this period in American history, the country was able to fund the moon race, the Vietnam War, and building the largest airplane ever. The freight box of the plane measures 13.5 feet high, 19 feet wide, and 143.75 feet long. This totals 34,734 cubic feet of cargo room, or what C-5 maintenance personnel refer to as a warehouse with wings. The contract was bid on by Boeing, Douglas, and Lockheed. Lockheed Martin was awarded the contract to produce 58 cargo planes, while General Electric was awarded the engine contract. Each C-5A would cost $268 million in today's money. Boeing's proposition did not go unnoticed. It would eventually be transformed into the 747 commercial airplane. The C-5A was a big airplane. According to Lockheed's specifications, the plane would have to be able to fly 3,200 miles without refueling with a payload of 125 tons, or 250,000 pounds. With a 100,000-pound payload, the C-5A could fly 5,300 miles away from its base. That was enough to fly from Dover Air Force Base, Delaware, to Torrey John Air Base, Spain, or Travis Air Force Base, California, to Yokota Air Base, Japan. The C-5, according to General Howard Estes, commander of the Air Force's Military Air Transport Service, would have sped up Operation Big Lift, which carried 15,500 soldiers from the United States to Germany in 1965. We used 234 aircraft, C-118S and C-124S, each flying one mission, and we accomplished the lift in 63 hours, he continued. According to Estes. By comparison, C-5s could do the identical task in only 13 hours, says 42. The C-5A would have a maximum landing altitude of 4,000 feet on unprepared airfields. The corporation called the flying behemoth Galaxy, in keeping with Lockheed's habit of naming airplanes after celestial objects and bodies. A C-5 can also transport 350 personnel plus equipment, 6 UH-60 Black Hawk helicopters, and 6 M2 Bradley battle vehicles, among other things. Getting freight on and off the Galaxy is a lot easier than it appears. The large nose of the C-5 is movable, allowing it to rise above the cockpit and provide complete access to the cargo compartment. The knight's visor is how this is referred to. Ground employees can drive cars directly onto the plane through a ramp at the back, where they are fastened down to avoid load shifting in flight. The landing gear and 28 landing wheels on the plane may be hydraulically kneeled to truck bed height, allowing cargo to be offloaded directly from the plane to waiting vehicles. Even though the plane is big, it only has a small crew: the pilot, the co-pilot, 2 flight engineers, and 3 loadmasters. Due to the plane's long range of 7,000 miles without refueling, it is frequently used to transport numerous crews, and is equipped to transport up to 15 relief crew members. Additionally, it can accommodate 75 additional passengers in airline-style seating located outside the cargo section. The C-5 flew cargo during the Cold War, mostly to Europe for NATO exercises. To help Saudi Arabia fight off Saddam Hussein's Iraq in 1990, it took part in Operation Desert Shield, a large-scale airlift and sealift operation. Months later, C-5S helped build up for Operation Desert Storm, which led to the liberation of Kuwait. The two campaigns combined to make the greatest airlift in history. Additionally, C-5S were sent for military and peacekeeping missions in the Balkans, Haiti, and Panama. After the September 11 attacks, C-5S flew freight into Afghanistan and the country itself once a suitable airport had been established. U.S. presidents often have C-5S with them, which carry the vehicles of the presidential motorcade ahead of Air Force One. Despite its limited commercial capability, the C-5 Galaxy is still flying half a century after its debut. Although it is no longer the world's largest plane, that honor goes to the Antonov and Tu-25 Mriya. The C-5 is such a massive plane with such a long history that it has become a flying symbol of American military supremacy. The C-5M Super Galaxy is expected to stay in service until at least 2040, at which point a newer, perhaps even larger aircraft will be required. Thank you for watching, and remember to subscribe and turn on the notification bell so you don't miss out on new videos.